A $47 check drops into a blue USPS mailbox. A thief fishes it out with a piece of string, applies household chemicals for under 2 minutes, and that same check now reads $4,700. Last year, this low-tech crime cost Americans over $815 million, with seniors bearing the heaviest losses. How did something this basic spiral into a nationwide crisis? 12,800. That's the number of mail theft complaints the U.S. Postal Inspection Service logged in its latest annual report, the highest in a decade. The previous year saw a dip, but the trend is unmistakable. Complaints have climbed by nearly 50% since 2020, outpacing the decline in property crime across the country. Arrests tied to mail theft and related robberies shot up 32% in a single year, driven by a surge of cases in cities like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, and Washington, D.C. In New York alone, more than 2,400 complaints poured in, with Los Angeles close behind at 2,100. Chicago, Houston, and D.C. each reported well over 1,000 incidents. Federal data shows that senior citizens account for more than a quarter of all reported mail theft cases. Inspectors point to neighborhoods with aging collection boxes and dense apartment buildings as hotspots, where organized groups use stolen keys or simple fishing rigs to pull out envelopes by the handful. In just one quarter, Los Angeles saw a 70% jump in check-related thefts, with hundreds of incidents logged in a matter of weeks. The numbers aren't just statistics, they represent a wave of stolen Social Security checks, utility payments, and personal savings. Each new complaint is another warning that the problem is spreading, and that the most vulnerable Americans are losing money they can't afford to spare. The raw volume of reports leaves no doubt. Mail theft has exploded into a national crisis, and the losses are mounting. Losses tied to mail theft and check fraud are now measured in the billions. The FBI estimates that Americans lose between $2 billion and $3 billion every year to check-related scams, with a growing share traced directly to stolen mail. In 2024 alone, check fraud losses topped $815 million, a number that experts say likely undercounts the true damage, since many victims never file a report. These aren't just abstract figures. For seniors living on fixed incomes, a single stolen Social Security check can mean missed rent, unpaid bills, or skipped medication. The scale of the crisis has prompted warnings from federal investigators. As Inspector Maria Lopez of the U.S. Postal Inspection Service put it, the volume of tips we receive now is unprecedented. We're seeing organized groups targeting collection boxes and selling stolen checks by the hundreds. Banks and law enforcement agencies now treat check washing as one of the costliest forms of paper-based fraud. A $500 check, once stolen, can be chemically erased and rewritten for 5 or 10 times its original value. In major cities, task forces have linked washed checks to organized rings that operate across state lines, funneling fraudulent payments through dozens of accounts before victims even realize money is missing. The financial shockwave doesn't end with the initial theft. Each washed check exposes personal banking details, opening the door to identity theft and cascading losses. With billions at stake, the warning is clear: no mailed check is safe from this new wave of crime. A single stolen key can unlock hundreds of blue USPS collection boxes in a city. These master keys, called arrow keys, are meant for postal workers, but when they fall into the wrong hands, thieves gain access to entire neighborhoods' mail overnight. In many cases, arrow keys are stolen from postal carriers during robberies, then passed between members of organized groups. But even without a key, the method is shockingly simple. Thieves turn to the fishing rig, a length of rope, a brick or weighted object, and a strip of glue or sticky tape. Under the cover of darkness or a busy afternoon, the rig drops through the slot of a blue box. The sticky weight snags envelopes inside, and the thief reels in a handful of mail in seconds. Law enforcement reports from New York and Los Angeles describe this as the most common tool found at arrest scenes, with glue residue and torn envelopes as telltale signs. The materials come from any hardware store, no special skills required. What starts as a quick snatch from a blue box sets off a chain reaction. Every envelope pulled could contain a check, a bill payment, or a Social Security benefit. The simplicity of the phishing rig, paired with the reach of stolen arrow keys, means no collection box is truly secure. From there, the checks are primed for the next step: chemical erasure and fraud. A stolen check does not need high-tech tools to become a blank canvas for fraud. Once in hand, thieves reach for household chemicals, acetone, bleach, or ammonia, found in any grocery or hardware store. In less than 2 minutes, the original ink vanishes. Ballpoint signatures, handwritten amounts, even printed payee lines dissolve, but the magnetic MICR numbers at the bottom stay untouched. That is the secret. The bank's scanners read the MICR line, not the handwriting. With the check washed clean, a criminal can fill in any name and any amount. A $47 utility payment can be rewritten as a $4,700 payout to a fake business or a mule account. This is not a rare trick. Federal case files show hundredfold jumps like this across the country. The altered check slips through bank systems because the routing and account numbers are still correct. Victims often do not realize what has happened until their accounts are drained or a payment bounces. Every washed check is a ticket to a financial nightmare, and for seniors on fixed incomes, a single envelope can mean the loss of a month's rent or medication. Evelyn Parker, a 72-year-old from Chicago, remembers the day her Social Security check vanished. For seniors like Evelyn, the mailbox is more than a daily routine. It's a lifeline. Each month, millions of older Americans still depend on paper checks for Social Security, pensions, and utility payments. Despite years of government outreach, about 44% of adults over 65 receive at least one government benefit by mail, and 38% still pay bills by writing checks. These habits, once seen as safe and reliable, now make seniors easy targets. Thieves know exactly when benefit checks arrive and which neighborhoods have the highest share of older residents. The predictability of these routines turns a simple mailbox into a bullseye. Seniors often live in buildings with shared mailrooms or use outdoor collection boxes, making it easier for organized groups to strike quickly and disappear. For someone like Evelyn, who relied on that check to cover rent and groceries, a single theft meant scrambling to borrow money and facing late fees she couldn't afford. The risk isn't just about losing a payment, it's about losing stability, privacy, and peace of mind. Criminals aren't picking names at random. They're following the paper trail left by the millions of seniors who still trust the mail. In South Florida, federal agents traced a wave of check fraud back to a single criminal ring. Over 20 months, these thieves stole checks from neighborhood mailboxes and sold the data to more than 2,000 buyers using encrypted messaging apps. The operation funneled stolen funds through a network of fake accounts, turning ordinary envelopes into a $1.7 million criminal jackpot. This case exposed just how organized and widespread the threat has become. Dozens of similar groups now target collection boxes in cities across the country, each using the same low-tech phishing rigs and chemical tricks. But there's a way to shut the door on this entire scam. The Treasury Department's Jew Direct program lets any Social Security or federal benefit recipient switch from paper checks to direct deposit. Once enrolled, the government stops printing and mailing checks, eliminating the physical target that thieves rely on. The process is simple. Visit godirect.gov or call the official hotline, provide your bank account or prepaid card details, and confirm your identity. Within 10 days, payments arrive electronically, safe from mailbox phishing and check washing. Over 1.2 million beneficiaries have already made the switch, removing billions in at-risk payments from the mail stream. For anyone still relying on paper checks, this single step is the most effective shield against organized mail theft and financial loss. Every stolen check is a doorway to drained life savings and shattered trust, especially for seniors. As mail theft complaints surge nationwide, the risk grows daily. Protecting our most vulnerable now means demanding better security and greater awareness. The next envelope could cost more than you think. Stay alert.